Coming up in this episode, the trees take up surfing as I'm flooded out of my new home in Namibia. Previously, Mother Nature had given us some demonstrations of her incredible power. The engine torque of my landy had been subdued by the suction of the river mud, and the neighbouring valley had kept me mesmerised and terrified the night before, with a thunder and lightning display that went on until the early hours of the morning. Wonderfully, I woke up to a very clear and still day in my new home in Puros in the northwestern Namibia. I was trapped in the country for a year during the first part of the pandemic.
It's first thing in the morning, about 7:30. Absolutely horrendous night. Big storm rolled in, but it never actually rained, so you had all the humidity in the air, but it never fell out onto the ground. So I think I got to sleep around 4 or 5 this morning. It's only a couple of hours sleep, feeling a bit rough. But the clouds disappeared, and I think the humidity's disappeared as well. So just having a slow, leisurely breakfast this morning, and my plan is to do some filming today. I'm sitting by the river. I'm trying to film and get some atmospheric sound, but I'm covered in flies. They always go a bit crazy first thing in the morning, and then they seem to disappear for the rest of the day, which is good. Anyway, the river is still, flowing somewhat, I guess you'd say, still trickling along. So I've just crawled out of bed. As you can see, I've taken great care of my personal appearance before turning the camera on. Just having a quick breakfast of some cracker bread and cheese, which is slightly extravagant. So I normally have porridge. And this morning we've gone for tea rather than coffee.
After 10 days of teaching myself to film in Puros, it really had begun to feel like home. That may not sound like a long time, but in the context of the emerging situation and having taken a huge risk to leave Europe and throw my lot in with Namibia, I was relieved to be somewhere stable and safe with good people. It was the perfect place to hunker down and ride the situation out. Whilst concentrating on some new camera settings, slowly, but quite clearly, I became aware of something strange happening. Even with my limited hearing, I could hear a low grumbling sound in the distance, like a huge plane that was coming into land.
Okay, apparently we've got a flood coming down the river. Let's go and have a look. We can hear a noise from a long, long way away. It sounds like it's water coming down the river. And so we are just waiting to see how much. I'm not sure if it's going to be as deep as it was the other day or even deeper.
You are trying to figure out the speed.
Well, I want to record it. Maybe there are some elephants they are surfing.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get a second camera. Can hear the noise for at least 3 or 4 minutes now, and we still can't see the water. You can see it? Ah, it's coming. Okay, come on water. We are ready for you. Ah, here it comes. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
Angry water. Wow! Angry water. Wow, incredible. It's very dirty. A lot of wood. Ah. Just got wet toes. Wow, look at the waves. It's incredible to see the power of the water. What's amazed me is to see how dirty it is. It's just full of rocks and logs and everything that's picked up along the way. And I better be careful, I'm going to get flooded up here. This is entertainment in Puros. Yeah, this is quite serious, eh? Look at that. I was going to have a quiet morning filming the introduction to my video channel, but the weather has other ideas, or at least it did last night. This is the rain from the big storm we had yesterday. Some of it must have fallen on this side of the valley, so we've got some of the rain. But yeah. Incredible torrent. You can see the destructive power. It's pulling everything. Huge logs. A couple of trees already going down. And then they get, here's a big log. It's going to hit. Might get stuck in there. But yeah. Wow. Interesting morning. It's overflowing onto the secondary bank now. Dry land! Dry land! Wow, incredible. Wow. It's across almost the entire width of the river there. So at this point a little bit nervous. We're not... Well, I guess we're sort of a metre and a half away from flooding the Land Rover. It's a very wide river, so that would take a substantial amount of water to actually reach that level, I assume, but this is a substantial amount of water. And we've certainly got higher. We've come to the sort of second tier, and I'd be on the third tier of flooding. So fingers crossed we're okay. Wow. Awesome to see the river, incredible, just to hear it coming and then be down on the riverbed when it came. So I really enjoyed that. It's the first time I've ever actually seen the water arrive in a desert. I've seen it once before in Ethiopia in the Omo Valley, heard it coming, just getting to sleep. It was much deeper, it was
good sort of couple of metres of water. But this is much wider. It's really quite spectacular. Apart from seeing the raw power of the water and what it can move down the river, the nicest thing is actually sitting under the shade, because it's providing a little bit of a cool breeze after yesterday's humidity nightmare. So it's a really lovely moment to just sit here, watch the river, listen to it. It's quite an impressive sound. Admire the backdrop of the sand dunes and the desolate landscape, but also just have a slightly cool breeze. It's absolutely lovely. Got a whole half a tree just drifting along now. It's having a nice little swim. Look at those rapids there. Spectacular, eh? Surf's up in Puros.
I have to admit, I was thinking how I could make some kind of raft and surf the waves all of the 60 kilometres to the coast. It would be great fun provided you survived the numerous narrow canyons and could jump out before hitting the Atlantic Ocean full of great white sharks.
So just been told potentially there's a lot more water coming, and that if I can I should still get out and get up onto the higher ground. So I'm going to attempt that now and see if I can still get out. Failing that, there's a point over there that's about a metre higher, so at least I'll go there for now. So let's see if we can get out of here or not. Yeah, so no problem getting out. I thought we'd go and explore the washed out river go and explore the flooded river, sorry, and see what we can see today. So I was planning on crossing over the river today and seeing who had some diesel available. I'd put out the word a couple of days ago. Let's see where this track goes to. The river's flowing just over here. Just got to be careful I don't get caught out with it flowing into where I am, because it's not that much lower, to be honest. Let's see what we got here. A little bit of water. I don't think I'll go through that somehow. Well, I'm not going to risk that, obviously. It's quite deep in there, I think. It's probably up to half a metre. It's going to be pretty soft. We have a giraffe over here, just hiding in the shade. Just slowly creep up on her. So far she's not fussed by our presence. Looking at us. Looking. Oh there, okay, so there's water over here, so I need to get out of this place. Yeah, there's water there coming down that channel, so I'm going to get out of here while I still can. So it's over to the right there. You can see it flooding there as well, so I've got to get out of this area before I get caught in it. Right, so vague little panic here, just to beat that water, get up onto the higher ground again. Go the mighty Landy. Oh, baby giraffes. They're going to panic a little bit. Hello, girls. Oh boys, sorry, I've got to go fast to get away from the water, and you're going to think that I'm chasing you, and I'm not. Let me just go past, that's it. That's it, don't worry. That was good practice in case a lion comes. Sorry to harass you. Okay, so we got some water coming here, so I'm just going to go for it across it. Oh, fuck. Right into the bush. Right. Okay, I've still got momentum. Alright, so that was lucky. That was nice and skiddy. So I've still got some over to the side there. But yeah, I could see it was circling me. It's still circling up over here on the right. So I lost momentum there. That was fun. Yeah, so I can see it over on the right here. It's coming down. So the question is, can I get back onto this higher ground up there? Well, maybe I can't. This is the main track that I'm following, so hopefully we're okay. But it's definitely been wet here before. Okay, so there's no water to my right that I can see at the moment, so I'm just ahead of it. It's just starting to come. So we're going to get into this higher ground up here. Yes, we're going to make it. There we go. Fantastic. It's all dry in front of us. And we can get to that little cliff just up here. On this track we're all fine. The water will always be to our right. But interesting to see how high it's going to get. It's one of the reasons I wanted to get out of the campsite. This is the edge of the water that I was running away from. It's just starting to flow into this valley here now. So here comes the water. This is what was coming towards us. So I just got away from it, just avoided being trapped and circled. So a lucky call, really. I better not stop here too long because this water's flowing out at a reasonable knot. Slowly, 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 but yeah, would have circled me and I would have been trapped, so more for me, and luckily I spotted that. Driven around the corner and you can see the river here is starting to flow. It's getting quite a big channel over there in the middle. And it's just overflowing down the edges here. Oh, absolutely amazing. Got some baboon up here running for their lives, and there's some springbok on an island in the middle there. So hopefully they're okay. Wow, look at that. I'm not sure going to the poorest bush lodge at the moment is a good idea. So just driving along the side of the river really, and stopping at any place which takes my fancy and has a good viewpoint. Beautiful shot of the stagnant pond. It's just slowly eking into it, and behind it in the distance, in the gap between the trees, is a raging torrent of the river. So
It's sort of mind-blowing to just look at the sheer volume of water that's passing down, and a lot of it is actually hidden. Oh, it's actually a slope up there, so it's really racing down. So, yeah, fascinating. Wow, look at that. It's having to go a little bit off-road due to the water receding on the track everywhere. Perhaps not my greatest wildlife shot, but there are plenty of good ones coming up soon. Is there a way to the top of that hill there? That would be a good place to see. Let's have a look. Found a little hill right next to the river. It's a cool breeze blowing over it, so time for lunch, which I think at the moment is just a couple of nice apples. Been cold in the fridge, and it's all I feel like eating. It's too hot to really eat anything. A good day, haven't got stuck, and yeah, seeing the river, it's quite magnificent. I'm just sort of watching it flow in this direction. Anyway, these are delicious. One thing I'd been struggling with was how to start my YouTube channel off. Exactly what clip was I going to show first up, and how is it going to capture your imagination? This hilltop seemed like a spectacular location to record it. However, I only had a vague notion of what my channel was going to be about, as events had swept me along and I hadn't really had much chance to think it through. I'd rather jumped in at the deep end and just started turning my new cameras on and pointing them at things, and I was still very much concentrating on the technical aspects of using them. So with a dubious script idea, I set forth to conquer the YouTube world, from on top of a hill, above a raging desert river in 40-degree heat and blinding sunshine. Sadly, there wasn't anybody around for miles to witness how awesome I was. This seems like an awesome place to start my YouTube channel. Except I can't really remember the script and what I'm supposed to say. It's stinking hot. This seems as good a place as any to start for a channel. This seems like a good place to start. Righto, well, this seems like the best place to start a YouTube channel. I'm Darren. I'm in Puros in the northwest of Namibia, and there's a lot of water in the river. Righto, well, this seems like a good event to start a YouTube channel on. I'm in Puros in the northwest of Namibia, and as you can see, the river behind me is in full flow, an event that doesn't happen very often. Certainly something I've never seen before. Just tried to film the intro for the channel. I'd written a script, but hadn't memorized it, and I could barely remember half of the first sentence.
so it's hot and your brain sort of doesn't work so well.
Plus it was surprisingly noisy next to the river. This is the raw audio without adjusting the volume.
Uh, 20 minutes just moving a camera around outside means you need at least half the water back in, especially when you're on the harsh rocks, the sun reflecting off you. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place to be up here. Beautiful little mountain to find. It's so hot, I'm struggling for words and I keep sort of over adjectivizing, using absolutely awesome and all these horrible things which I hate.
Sitting up here watching the river and beautiful scenery in the slight heat days gave me a chance to appreciate what I was doing. I didn't know at this stage that the year I would spend travelling around as seemingly the only tourist in this huge and insanely gorgeous country, with only a camera for company, would without doubt be the best year of my life.
So taking the high road up past the river to get back. Enjoying a bit of driving, to be honest. Enjoying the beautiful scenery. So I have an important little celebration, another little milestone. Every 1,000 kilometres that me and the Land Rover complete, I tap her on the dashboard and say, well done old girl, it's a good 1,000 kilometres and thank you for the faithful service and the good memories. So we've just come up to 49,000 and yeah, that's on the new speedometer. The old one at home has got 346 or 376, something like that on it. And the sort of mechanical gears inside it sort of gave up the ghost and was starting to clunk and make a lot of noise, so I had to replace her. So yeah, 49,000. Well done, old girl. Would be great to do rafting, I have to say. The water's cleaned up a lot now. When it first came down this morning, it was absolutely chock full of sticks and stones and all sorts of tree branches and bushes and God knows what else. Now it's pretty good. I mean, there's stuff there you wouldn't want to raft that's easily punctured. Where should we do a panorama?
I've always loved long, wide shot, and to this day I'm still trying to get the perfect footage of the Landy, flying along in the desert with dust billowing behind her amongst stunning scenery and magical lighting. Annoyingly for this shot, the sun went behind a cloud just as I started driving.
Let's track them on. It's heading straight down to the river. In front of us we've got a giraffe. 2 giraffes, in fact.
I had planned to dedicate the day to my first serious attempt at filming wildlife, to get some nice close-ups rather than these driving shots on an action camera. But the river rather strongly demanded to be centre stage today.
Just found this this mud spot. Looks like something was making its nest there. I'm guessing it's a bee or a wasp of some kind. It was just stuck on here. So I'm glad whatever it is didn't make a home. Looks empty inside. Perhaps it doesn't like all the travel. Or the Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden.
Perhaps in the quiet desert atmosphere, something a bit more laid back might be in order. Along with my cameras, music was to be my other main companion during the next year, when I would be alone 99% of the time. I could talk to the camera lenses for company, and music would speak back to me. An odd little social circle, to say the least, but it worked to some degree. Even if I came out the other end seeming a little bit strange to other humans. I use music sparingly in my films, so you're more able to appreciate one of the greatest features of deserts.
Hello, Springboks!
Silence. Apart from the wind, a few animals, or the odd flooded river, the desert is totally silent, a rare commodity to find for many people. It can be unnerving at first if you're not used to it, but once you are, it usually starts a lifelong love affair.
Getting back towards the campsite. As you can see, the river started to recede somewhat. It's been as high as this mud that I'm now walking on, and there's pools of water left behind. Oh, it's nice and cool on my feet. Lovely, lovely, lovely. If I could get it a bit deeper and a bit cleaner, I'd definitely have a swim. Okay, well, let's go back to the campsite. See how the water looks there. So that's the way back to my campsite. So clearly not something I'm going to be attempting today. Or tomorrow. Maybe not even the next day. Yeah, so the water's come up since I've been away and pretty much effectively locked me out of the campsite. It surrounded it. They said that happens sometimes. The campsite's slightly raised on an effective island now. But I didn't want to be trapped in there for another 2, 3, 4 days. So that's no problem. I can just camp sort of on the side of the river here. So it's not deep water, but it's certainly trickling along quite happily. Ah, there's a beautiful giraffe over there. Yeah, so it's just a little ocean of wildlife here. Got giraffe over here, got springbok, got baboons, which luckily aren't in the campsite. They must have trained the baboons, I'd imagine, with some fairly fierce slingshotting and throwing of rocks. Anyway, so that's a bit of a a bit of a bummer. I was looking forward to getting back to the campsite. Sorry about that, but oh man, so thirsty.
Water was now going to be a problem. The campsite was my only source of clean drinking water, so I headed up to the only lodge in the area to see if anybody was there, hoping to get some water to fill my tanks up.
So, thanks to the Elephant Lodge here, it's the high-end lodge, they kindly let me come and fill up with some water. I asked if they had any fuel spare, but they don't. They've not had any stock for a month. They've been closed and shut like most other tourist things. Anyway, it's very nice of them to let me take some water at least. Okay, so we got some water at the lodge, so that's a good result. Don't really have enough diesel. We may do. It's just I've been running around in Puros a reasonable amount, so I've done 208 kilometers since I filled up. Anyway, so I think we'll be alright. We kind of know the point where I have to return. So we'll go down to the campsite now. I'll have to walk through the mud and say my goodbyes. I was planning on doing a couple of days filming there actually, and filming a lot of things. That's how things work out.
So yeah, we'll squish through the mud, go and pay my bill. We'll camp on this side of the river. We'll get running in the morning. I suppose I could drive a little bit now and get away from the thunder if that's what's going to happen. It's clouding over again now. Okay, so I'm just leaving the Land Rover there and we're going to walk into the campsite. Here we go. Let's see how bad the mud is. That's pretty sticky. Oh, this is a bit mad, eh? Poor us. Right, no idea how deep this is, or if there's any pythons lurking. Okay, we're onto a dry bit in the middle here. Anyway, this is not how I imagined my exit from Puros. As long as we don't bump into any elephants, we should be okay. Still some water in the secondary channels here, and I can see the main river still flowing pretty deeply. Okay, well, let's go to reception and hopefully they're there and I can pay them, eh? At reception, but nobody here. Tried the number, says unreachable. So I'll get a couple of things from the campsite and throw the money in there and hopefully they get it. So this is just to record that I was here to pay for 10 nights. Okay, well, back to my campsite where, as you can see, the river is flowing beautifully. Has dropped down a little bit, but yeah, it's still pretty good, eh? Oh well, thank you, campsite. But there's no point hanging around, so I will go. So far so good with the walking. A lot of elephant dung around, so I'm not exactly mucking about here. Just getting through as quickly as I can. Listening carefully for that low rumble of the elephant. They see me, I'm told they'll most likely charge, try to kill me. All action in Africa. Alright, here we go. Okay, looking good. Just through the same bit that we went through before. Very sloppy. Home sweet home. Home on the range. Where the springbok and elephant play. Great news. We made it. Need some food and a lot to drink. Although I put a brave face on it, I was a bit gutted to leave Puros. It had proven to be the great bolt hole I had imagined it would be a month before, and will always have a special place in my heart for it. My thoughts hadn't been so much, I will take my booked flight to Namibia, rather than, I'll get to Puros in the Landy. I could have waited for things to dry out and hoped no more floods arrived. But I chose to take it as Mother Nature giving me a nudge to get out and capture more of Namibia's beauty to share with others. Let's hope I can make her proud now that I was armed with the ability to turn my cameras on, charge my batteries, and occasionally point them in the right direction. I didn't want to spend another night in Puros. Looked like another storm was coming in, hot, sweaty, but no actual rain. So I've come up to the top of the mountain. Not sure if it'll be any better up here. It's a little bit windier at the moment. Just camping next to the road. Don't know if there'll be any traffic through here tonight. So this is a mountain big enough to have a name on the map at least. I tend to take a few shots of every place that I camp. And it's interesting, you know, 10, 12 years later, I can often piece together the day. If I look at the 2 nights, you know, I camped here and then I camped here.
And I can usually pretty much remember the whole day, from breakfast, during the day, driving, whatever happened, etc. Just by remembering where I camped. And surprising how many, of course, you forget. You can't remember everything. Just that one picture brings all the memories back. Anyway, I haven't eaten since breakfast, only a couple of apples and some drinks. So I'm going to crack open something exciting. Just enjoying a little bit of exercise, actually. It's nice and cool, a gentle breeze, baked beans on my chin. Saying goodbye to the sun. It'll be up bright and early tomorrow morning to torture us again from a different direction. The nice thing is we'll be driving with the sun behind us for the first few hours of the day anyway. Now that I'm away from sort of civilization a little bit, I have to be a bit more careful of leopards and things like that. Leopards, hyenas, etc.
The next day I planned to head up north, into even more remote country, with the added bonus that due to the urgent way we had slapped the landy back together to avoid the impending lockdown, she was now leaking both coolant and oil from the engine. But I couldn't see how that was going to be a problem in 40-degree heat. She's my magnificent landy, the lean green flying machine. She'll never let me down.